Rev up your engine!
Well, I truly believe that Toyota has been lying to us about debris being in those V6 twin turbos in the Tundras and causing problems. And here is one of the biggest reasons. The other day, a guy brought me a Toyota Tundra twin turbo, but it was a hybrid. For some reason, they haven't recalled all the hybrids like they did with the non-hybrid Tundras. Here's the interesting thing. Both the Tundra with the twin turbo regular engine and the Tundra with the twin turbo hybrid version, both of those engines are made in the same factory in Alabama. Okay? Didn't have any big recalls for the hybrid version, but for the non-hybrid one they did. Both of those engines are made in the same factory in Alabama, right? If there was debris inside those things, it would affect all the engines. I have concluded that it's a design flaw of the twin-turbo non-hybrid. They have set up the twin-turbo non-hybrid. Now, that wasn't a brand-new engine. It was pretty much the engines they used in the Lexus, the V6 twin turbos. But for the Tundra pickup trucks, the non-hybrid ones, they added low-end boost with the turbos. Now, they don't get very good gas mileage. And Toyota admitted, well, we didn't build these things for gas mileage. We built them for power. So they got low-end grunt from the turbos giving extra power at lower RPMs. That can damage an engine. Now, the hybrid engines, okay, those are slightly different. They have a fake Atkinson cycle where the intake valves, the camshafts are set up so it acts like an Atkinson cycle engine. And it shoots some of the exhaust gas back in. It's very complicated stuff, but it is different than the design of the non-turbo. So that's telling me the turbo engine that they're now boosting for low-end grunt, that engine's having problems. But the hybrid engines aren't, even though they're made in the same factory, right? If they're made in the same factory, the hybrid engines, the blocks are the same, they would have had debris. But they're not recalling them. Because those are getting a lot of boost from the electric motor. So my theory is that the way they're boosting the twin-turbo non-hybrid at lower RPMs is causing internal damage to the engine. And as far as I'm concerned, it has nothing to do with debris. And then they were saying, well, the number one bearing goes out. And that doesn't make any sense. If there was debris, all the bearings would go bad, not just the number one. It would just, that's what would happen. Now, I've watched guys take these engines apart, and if they've gone out entirely, there's debris everywhere. Because if number one bearing goes bad, pieces fly around, then those pieces get in, destroy all other bearings, and then there's crap all over the place. It's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? So, since Toyota has not recalled the hybrid version that's got the engine made in the same exact factory, but it has modified software and stuff for the cams, where the regular one just has a conventional, what's called auto four-stroke engine. And you might wonder, well, why do they use auto versus Atkinson? Well, Atkinson one has less power. Right? But it gets better gas mileage. So in the history of cars, everybody wanted power. So they didn't use the Atkinson cycle much. It was invented a long time ago, right? They didn't use it much because they wanted power. But now that they have hybrid cars with battery boost, like Toyota Prius, which is the biggest, famous, earliest one, right? That was using an Atkinson cycle engine that was weak, didn't have that much horsepower, but it was boosted with a battery. And they haven't had problems with those, just like with the Tundra. Since both of those engines were made in the same factory in Alabama, you can't say there was debris left in, just the ones that went into the normal ones and not the ones that went into the hybrid twin-turbo V6 and the Tundras. Total nonsense. I have concluded that it is a design flaw of the turbo boost system on the non-hybrid one, where the hybrid one has more electric boost, different kind of boost system, has a fake Atkinson cycle valve system so that it doesn't have as much power, but it gets better gas mileage, because of course you get better gas mileage in the hybrid Tundra than you do in the regular non-hybrid Tundra. Since they're not calling them, they didn't recall, massive recall of the hybrid ones, engine made in the same factory, there's no way that it's engine debris that causes it. They just don't want to admit there's a big design flaw with those things. Something about the boost on the non-turbo ones being at low end is obviously destroying the engines, not debris left in manufacturing, right? Because if there was debris, the hybrid versions would have the same debris, the same engines made in the same factory. They're just down the line, have modifications to the cam system so that it acts like an Atkinson cycle, has less power, but gets better gas mileage. There's no way it's debris that was left over that's causing this problem. Check this one out. The fuel you're buying at a gas station may not be the company that you're buying it from that provides it. Check out this Shell thing. That is real. You assume you go to a gas station, you're getting the gasoline that company makes and sells. The sign's up there, right? But there's a picture from a Shell station showing that they were not selling their own fuel at that station. Now, when you go in, not only do you have to read, how much ethanol's in it, and I had one the other day. There were 3 separate pump handles, and you got to guess which one is for me. One's diesel, one's ethanol, and one was gasoline, but they weren't labeled that well, right? Now you got to look to see, are you actually getting the gasoline from the company that you think you are? Now, this particular one is Shell. Shell has a true image of making excellent gasoline. Guys that race cars and stuff like that, a lot of them, they want to use Shell gas because their car performs better for the top end. Now, for most cars, it doesn't matter. You use regular gas, it'll work perfectly fine. But if you think you're paying for something and you're not getting it, hey, now you even have to read the sign. It's getting to be that crazy. In this case, the notice says, this fuel is not a Shell product. Shell does not endorse the performance, quality, warranty, or engine compatibility of this fuel. But they're selling it at their station. I mean, the world has gone insane. I mean, can anybody believe that this stuff is actually happening? But it is. Now you got to read where the fuel comes from and trust that, well, they're actually telling you the truth. You know, who knows? What are you going to do? Analyze it, get a sample of it, send it away to have the gas analyzer? Who fires that going to go? So now when you go buy your gas, not only you go to the station, you got to look at the pump, read all the crap on it, try to figure out, is this their gas? Is this the correct gas for my car? They're making it way too complicated. And of course, other advertising strategy is, we make the best gas, we make this. They don't tell you. The truth of the matter is that they can get that gas from many different places. And even if they say it's their gas, a lot of times it's refined by just the nearest refinery, and theoretically, the companies put their additives into that gasoline and then call it their own. Because in most areas, there aren't 5 different types of refineries, right? But there might be 6 or 8 types of different gas stations out there, right? They're all buying the same fuel in one place. And maybe they're putting additives and maybe not. Who the heck really knows, right? Yeah, sure, your car runs good, but don't be suckered in by paying extra money for fuel that you don't need. Most people don't even think about buying high-test gas. It's a waste of money. Just buy the regular gasoline. It's perfectly fine, right? And no matter where you go, it probably comes from the same refinery in your area, regardless of what the name says on the top. Well, if you saw the video I made the other day about the Lucid, the electric car, the Arabs invested all the money they're made in Arizona, and the guy who bought it said, I didn't buy it. I'm leasing it. I mean, the company goes bankrupt. What do I care? You know, I don't own the thing, right? Well, now Lucid itself, they say, we're dismissing the report that we're thinking about filing for bankruptcy or going private. Well, why are they even mentioning, no, we're not doing that? It's because the stock is collapsing. All right, let's face the facts. At its highest point of time, Lucid was worth $580.50 a share on February 18th, 2021. Well, it's 2026 now, and okay, the other day it was $2.37, okay? This money has been paid down the toilet. Now, the thing is, what I don't comprehend about it is, okay, the Arab Investment Fund is the biggest single investor. They get all this money. Why did they put it on the stock market? And then they're affected by, oh, it's good, it's bad, and then it's dropped down the toilet. If they would have just had their own money in it, there wouldn't be shares that existed on a market that people could plummet it to the ground. Whenever there was bad news for the company and the stock goes down, all that money just goes down the toilet, right? If it's a private company, completely different thing. Right? Why they went public? Obviously, they thought they were going to get easy money. People will buy it. It'll go just like SpaceX, right? Oh, you know how much more money? And now SpaceX stock's starting to go down where it belongs, right? How can you have a company that last year lost like $6 billion? They lost $6 billion, but then they said, oh, the stock is worth $2 trillion. A trillion is 1,000 billion. They're losing $6 billion. But they say it's worth $2 trillion, thousands of times more. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd, right? And the same thing with Lucid. I got to say, I didn't mind the car. It was a decent car. I mean, who wants to pay $87,000 for the thing? That's beyond me why anybody would pay that for an electric car, right? But that stock is going so low, maybe it would be a smart move for the Arabs to just say, oh, we're going private. Forget the stocks. We'll just go private, and then we don't have to deal with the ups and downs of the stock market. They got all the money in the Arab Investment Fund, right? They can just invest their own money. And, hey, they were talking about, now they're thinking about planning and building a $40,000 electric SUV instead of an $87,000 sedan. So, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe they will, but they were fools to put it on the stock market because that's just going down. Can you imagine if you would have paid $580 for a share and now it's worth $2.37? Your money went down the toilet, baby. Well, that's it for today's breaking news. And remember, you can only see this on the Scotty Kilmer channel on YouTube, where I give you all the breaking news so you can learn what's actually happening in the car industry after I strip away all their propaganda and show you what actually happens when the rubber hits the road.